You know, I was right there in Miami's Arena 1 that night, the air thick with sweat and excitement from the UFC crowd, when this cocky kid, Jax the Phantom Kane, fresh off flattening his opponent in the main event, grabbed the mic and decided to pick a fight with the wrong legend. Jax, this 28-year-old phenom with a perfect record and an ego bigger than the octagon, spots Hank, the Iron Fist, Riley sitting ringside, silver hair, simple shirt, the guy who's been a 6-time world karate champ, Air Force vet, trainer to elites for decades, and he just smirks. Hey, old-timer, think you can still throw down, or are those glory days just dusty movie reels? The arena goes dead silent, then erupts, because Hank, at 80, doesn't flinch, just nods calmly and accepts, turning what started as Jax's clout-chasing stunt into a storm nobody saw coming, especially Jax, who deep down was chasing validation from the man he mocked, masking his insecurities about living up to his own hype. As the weeks rolled on, the buzz hit fever-pitch, social media exploding with memes, pundits like Lisa Vargas calling it a clash of eras, flashy social media bravado versus old-school quiet mastery, and I watched Jax revel in it, training in his high-tech gym with cameras rolling, partying late, ignoring his trainer Vince's warnings to study Hank's footage, convinced this was his era, his rules, driven by that gnawing fear that without constant spotlight, he'd fade like yesterday's news. Hank, meanwhile, in a quiet gym outside the city with his granddaughter Sophia and old doc buddy Marcus, wasn't building muscle or speed, was honing patience, timing, those fundamentals he'd mastered over 60 years, telling Sophia it wasn't about proving himself, but teaching Jax that real strength comes from self-control, not domination. Especially since Jax's arrogance stemmed from a rough upbringing where flash got him noticed, but left him empty inside. Press conferences were electric, Jax strutting in designer gear, barking, "First-round KO, Grandpa. I'll even spot you a hip replacement," with that mired sarcasm hiding his doubt, while Hank just folded his hands, saying softly, "Fighting's not about who shouts loudest, it's about why you fight at all." His words landing like subtle jabs, cracking Jax's facade just a bit, making him pace his hotel room later, replaying old clips of Hank's undefeated streak, whispering to himself, "Nah, prehistoric stuff," but you could see the uncertainty creeping in, that maybe his power plays were just compensating for never having a mentor like Hank. Then came fight night, the arena pulsing like a heartbeat, Jax exploding out with entourage and bass-thumping entrance, while Hank walked in solo, steady as ever in man. The rounds unfolded like a masterclass in humility. Jax charged wild, fists flying in bursts of raw power, yelling, "Feel that, fossil," after grazing Hank. But Hank slipped everything with minimal moves, conserving energy, waiting until round 3 when he countered Jax's flying knee with precise strike, shoulder, gut, jaw-dropping the kid to a knee, not to destroy but to reveal, Jax's eyes widening in shock as he realized this wasn't brute force winning. It was wisdom exposing his flaws. The bell rang on a split draw, but the real knockout was internal, Jax, sweating and stunned, extending a hand, muttering, "You pulled that punch." "Why?" And Hank replying quietly, "Wasn't about ending you, about showing you there's more to this than ego." Weeks later, Jax showed up at Hank's gym at dawn, no cameras, learning basics, his cockiness melting into genuine hunger, opening a community dojo in his hometown to teach kids discipline over dominance, crediting Hank for flipping his world, turning that mired rivalry into mentorship that echoed far beyond the cage. But here's the thing that still nags at me: is Hank too lenient, letting Jax off easy to teach the lesson, or did Jax deserve that humbling wake-up? What do you think? Drop a comment below. Share if you faced a similar ego check in life, or those community clashes where old wisdom meets new fire, because stories like this remind us, sometimes the biggest fights are the ones we have with ourselves. Hit subscribe if you want more real tales that hit home.